what's up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Honestly, I wanted to go over these different type clips. I seen the video that they posted on YouTube, but I like, looking for different clips, and these clips were on X. Y'all can find these clips all over X. Just type in John Fetterman on the View, and different clips that pop up. But I had to check these out, y'all.
It is his son, after all, and people do have sympathy for that. But a lot of people are angry with him about it. What do you say?
Oh, well, I think it's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now is that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases, and we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other side.
You said both trials. So look, check me out. So before we get further into these clips in these video, the first thing that I have to say is we all know how the that trial went. The whole thing with New York is BS. Me personally, it's kind of, and this is my opinion on it, you can't really compare the two. And I say that because I feel like, and this is my opinion, y'all, I feel like the trial for New York, was BS. Hunter Biden, that is, and I say it's completely different, because first of all, we talking about a BS trial, that they did towards, and y'all hear it from John Fetterman or what he's saying, but seeing how it is Hunter Biden, and what, the whole family, the Biden is about, it is kind of, those things are sketchy, and it's sketchy because of the, we're talking about Hunter Biden, and then I see really what John is saying in a sense, because, I can see that. But then again, I think with Trump having that New York, and we know, that obviously was a witch hunt. But
they'll say that about the J6 people too, though, right?
That's just my opinion.
That's what they're going to say on the other side. That is weaponized also.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the New York trial, and now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful, calling it like, now he's a convicted felon and those things, and now for our party, we were talking about criminal justice, and we're now talking about second chances, and now all of a sudden now you're like, well, he's a convicted felon and all these things. And now clearly, again, both of those trials, the Hunter Biden one and the trial in New York for Trump, that was politically motivated, and those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side they realize that they could weaponize that.
See, and that right there just goes to show y'all that Joy didn't know. I would say Joy, I'm going to say all those ladies, they didn't know that he was going to say these things. And it's coming from a Democrat, right? I'm pretty sure John Fetterman is well, I don't know. I've seen different videos and what I really don't know. But I know for a fact that people say that he is a Democrat. Me personally, I feel like a Democrat saying that is, especially coming from John Fetterman, because y'all got to think, I've only seen him a couple times, but also just coming from him saying that, and I feel like everybody know that too. People will say, "Oh, this coming from a Democrat." John Fetterman saying that, everything is politically motivated in New York, and people gonna say that. Coming from a Democrat, I can see, but then at the same time, I look at the fact that everybody knows that the whole New York thing with Trump was BS. I mean, I feel like a lot of people know that. And honestly, not just New York. A lot of a lot of other things too that we've been following up on. But check this out. This is what Sonny said.
Let me ask you this, though. Since Trump's win, there's been a lot of soul searching on the Democratic side, people needing answers on what went wrong. Do you think that is helpful? And do you think there should also be some soul searching on the Republican side?
What went wrong? Hold on, y'all.
There's been a lot of soul searching on the Democratic side, people needing answers on what went wrong. Do you think that is helpful? And do you think there should also be some soul searching on the Republican side who need to analyze why they would nominate a convicted felon who ran on live?
Literally, he just said. He literally just said it. He literally just said, people like them, throwing out this convicted felon. Man, come on with that.
Who need to analyze why they would nominate a convicted felon who ran on lies, threats of retribution, and concepts of a plan.
I haven't spent any of my time after the election freaking out or just thinking about. Here's where we are, and I would like to remind everybody that that's the way democracy works.
Regardless of the fact, I feel like, again, like I said before, they're wanting different answers from John Fetterman, and I feel like you're either gonna talk like the people that's on The View. Sonny, Joy, Whoopi, either you're gonna talk like that and give out what we've seen so far. I would say Sonny and Joy, or you're gonna have common sense about the things, and just like she said, what else possibly can you do? And what else is it to talk about? This is going. I just told y'all the last video. This is going on what, day 4, day 5, and they still talking about the Hunter Biden pardon and stuff. Like it's other things to talk about. You know what I mean? It's other things to talk about. Let's check out Alyssa this time.
One of the things that you've discussed is how Democrats lost some gains that they needed to make with young men across the board. And you said that there was a perception that they could be condescending or insulting. Can you explain what you meant by that? And how do you think Democrats need to be talking to men in a way that perhaps they weren't this cycle?
And before he answered it, let me tell y'all something before we get in this. When she says, how do you think Democrats could, my first thought is, I feel like a lot of men that are, it's a lot more to change. I feel like a lot of stuff went downhill as Kamala's campaign and Tim Walz's, their whole campaign and what they were about. Kamala pushed this whole, Kamala and Tim Walz, they pushed more of this. And don't get me wrong, I probably don't cancel me for saying this. Don't get me wrong. I feel like she pushed too much of the whole women, pushing the women and pushing the whole LGBTQ. I think I said that right. She pushed a lot of that on top of Tim Walz being the way that he is, glittery, and just, I don't know. I feel like they tried a lot that really didn't make sense. She tried to play too many parts. You know what I mean? She tried to play this fake, oh, I'm black, this Southern, then she wants to, then you got Tim Walz that want to, oh, I'm fixing cars and I'm going to the range and I'm doing this and doing that. It was just, I feel like it was too much. It was too much that I feel like a lot of men were looking at, and I feel like that's why they lost a lot of men, especially, black men. They talk about all the time. The support, and I've seen a lot. At first, when I started doing these videos last year, it was something, when I seen, Blacks for Trump, and I seen a lot of black men, saying that they gonna vote for Trump. And then as it got closer to election, I seen a lot of black men, and black people in general, turn, to Trump. And I feel like it had a lot to do with how Kamala and Tim Walz's campaign went. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like a lot of it was that, and that's again my personal opinion. I feel like they pushed out the wrong things, when she had Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage. She had Beyonce, and she had, it was just, I don't know. It was that her whole campaign. And don't get me wrong, again, I'm sorry, y'all. It didn't give, let's do this for American. It didn't give that America feel. It didn't give that American. It didn't give that, it didn't give none of that. It gave, I don't know, it gave feminine. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like I love women, I don't. It's just more so, when you talking to world leaders and you doing this and doing that, it was just a lot of stuff. It was a lot of red flags. Her and Tim Walz, when it came to answering questions with interviews, and when it had him, to answer things, or when there was protesters saying this and saying, it was just like they just buckled down, and it stuff didn't seem right. I'm gonna jump back into this.
It's become more and more difficult. It forces men to kind of choice. Can I really remain a Democrat? And some of the kinds of the tone in those kinds of situations, it's undeniable. I've witnessed that over the last 8 years, and Trump has a really strong connection with a lot of these unions as well now too. And it was very clear that we've lost a lot of that. That migration has already been well underway, and here we are now. And now whether it's bros or the manosphere and all these, clearly those are negative kinds of terms. And if you talk down with them, or you make them part of the problem, or it's all because of you and your fault, then of course they're going to find an alternative, and that's what they've done that. And I believe in having a conversation on anyone that's playing it straight. I'm delighted. I'm happy to be on your show, or with Joe Rogan. I'm a fan of his as well too, or Bill Maher. All of these people. I think having a conversation with anyone that wants to play it straight, I think we should be talking to as many people as possible. And it's undeniable the Democrats have lost a lot with men, and I'm not sure where we're able to bring that back without a long-term kind of a strategy to re-engage them, because it's undeniable. There's been serious.
I'm telling y'all, and that's the end of that. But I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of it is more so, like I said, it's how things, and I can't even just say her campaign too, because I said her campaign, but I feel like, honestly, not only her campaign, it was more so of how the past 4 years went to, and especially, immigrants, and that's that. And when I feel like a lot of people seeing that, especially Democrats switching over, like, oh yeah, I'm not with Trump. Like, I can't do this. It was so many things that she did that it didn't make sense to a lot of people. The things that she was saying, it didn't make sense to a lot of people. The way that she did her campaign, the way that, and I feel like it was just that, like, having it being a vice president, like, you're the vice president, bro. You're the vice president. You should be pushing, more. I can tell y'all, and I've just started doing these videos last year. I guarantee y'all know while y'all sitting at home, sitting at work, sitting at dinner, wherever y'all at right now. And just think about it, how her campaign went. I guarantee y'all can sit there and think of different ways you could have done, like, she could have done this, and you let her, you know what I'm saying? If you was on her team, like, nah, we need to do this instead, because this will make more sense, rather than, oh, we got somebody twerking on stage. Oh, we got a rapper, that is literally, she had a rapper that literally was doing was around gun violence a week before and had them talking about gun violence. Or she went and what else? What else can I throw out there? Interview. That she did stuff that she could have said. It's so many things during her campaign that could have went differently, but due to the lack of her trying to, due to her trying to fit in, with the younger crowd and getting the younger generation, it could have went a different way, but you see, it didn't, and she lost by literally a landslide, and it showed.
Well, there have been social forces at work for many years. Women have advanced And a lot of guys.
And I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, y'all. I know a lot of y'all don't like the view, so I try to, talk as much as I can.
Have not. And we need to address that, I think, before we can say what the Democrats have to do. But let me ask you this. While Democrats work on fixing past mistakes, a lot of Americans are disturbed about the future. Trump is terrorizing migrants by threatening to call on the military to round them up on U.S. soil. He's also imposing tariffs that everybody's.
My thing is why wouldn't you? That's the problem right there, bro. That's the problem right there. Y'all see how bad it is, at the mic. We have to, and that's what it's so many things that's running through my mind, y'all. So I'm trying to take my time, but people don't realize that you have to start, and that's why I feel like Joy Behar and them, they know this stuff. They know this stuff. It's things that need to be fixed, things that need to be handled, and because you're going to have people getting over you. Honestly, everything she's saying, people getting over you. But Trump is literally, he doing these things, to put his foot down. No, we're not doing this. We're going to handle it this way, and we're going to make sure this is good. And then, you feel me, we're going to make sure. I feel like Joy, like, come on, they've been in this for years, bro. They can't be that. Let me be quiet. I don't even want to call nobody no names or nothing, but come on.
And threats to punish the media who don't fall in line. Of all of that, Senator, what worries you the most?
Well, I mean, nothing really worries me.
Exactly.
Because right now nothing has really happened yet. I mean, Trump now is 6 weeks out before he's even going to be inaugurated. But America signed up for this. It's undeniable. He won the popular vote, and he ran the table, including my state as well, too. This is what America decided. So this is definitely going to go in a direction that I'm a lot of Democrats aren't going to agree with that, but I'm going to be a part of that conversation. And there's going to be plenty of people that are going to freak out, or they're going to have these kinds of extreme reactions. But I won't be one of them. But I'm going to react, and I'm going to be very selective on picking my own fights on that. And I just have to. I think two things are true at the same time.
And that just goes to show y'all right there that the View, he's literally, that the View are getting people fired up, spreading lies, doing, putting out fake news. This goes to show y'all right here of what they're doing. Y'all hear from John Fetterman. It's another Democrat. Literally, I'm not worried about nothing. First of all, it's 6 weeks out. I mean, this is stuff that, you need to, obviously, if they're Democrats and they don't like Trump or they feel some type, those are things that they obviously, okay, well, let's watch this. And then let's see how this happens. Let's not tell lies. Let's not put out fake news that they're doing. Man, that's
whether it's like the border or whether it's with abortion or other these kinds of issues. I've been very clear on some of those things, but it's undeniable the Republicans now have the ability to run that table, and our party is going to have.
I don't want to get. I gotta pause it. I don't want to get copyright.
To respond, and I think we need to be smart and pick the right fights and not get all worked out over every last thing.
John, I gotta go.
I'm telling y'all, bro. It's literally sad, on how the View puts out things, the way that they do things. It's definitely sad. It's it's crazy that and that's why you see it clearly trying to stop him from talking, interrupt him from talking, because they wasn't expecting this. They never like when somebody comes on the show and tell it like it is. They never do. They want people to respond to things, have reaction to things, and agree with whatever they agree on and what they say, and it's not right. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.